Hello and welcome to the Fans Corner. Today I'm joined by Fred. Fred, how's it going, mate?
It's going very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. So, start the podcast off again with a bit of very sad news in the boxing world. Lee Noble lost his battle with leukemia this Saturday. I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I think it was. It came out. Lee was a former British Masters and English champion. He was loved by many in the world of boxing. You had Eddie Hearn putting out tributes, so he was loved by many, and without a doubt will be hugely missed within the boxing world. But we'll send our condolences to his family, most definitely. But move on to a bit of better news. Okolie did it for Britain, didn't he? He picked up his first world title with a KO win in the 6th round over Glowacki. What do you think of that performance, Fred?
I thought it was very impressive. I thought he's performances wise, he's never really excelled. I felt he's always had the talent, but when he's actually been on the big stage, like you see the Isaac Chamberlain fight, it was very underwhelming. And this fight, I felt like he delivered for one of the first times, and to do it at the big stage, I felt like he got everything spot on, and it was the perfect title performance, really.
Yeah, I'll second you to that. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant performance from him. The first time I actually see one of these fights and thought he will be a world champion was the one before when he won the European title. No, sorry, not the one on the Prograis Taylor undercard. I went to that to the event and remember seeing him, and he was just knocking Ngabu about all over the gaff, and it was like you can't. I just thought he was always a fighter with a very awkward style. He was a very boring fighter to watch, but seeing that fight, it kind of made me think, this bloke's going to be a world champion without a doubt, because he as I've said in the preview, he's a very awkward fighter, and you could see Glowacki trying to set up one of them hooks, the left hook, and Okolie was just keeping his distance from him, and he was just frustrating him all night, and caught with a lovely hook to the jaw, sent him out, didn't it?
Yeah, Glowacki, when you watched it, he was kind of always just too far away. And Lawrence did very well with his distance, but he was never looking to box with Okolie. He was just looking for that left hand.
He was looking for the one punch to get him out of there, but you didn't know if Okolie's got a good chin, because you've never. I don't know about you. I've never seen him tested. Someone's tested his chin.
Can't think of a moment.
No. So yeah, it'd be good to see. I think he wanted to fight. Was it Bradis? I think next he called it. He said
he wants to unify the division, doesn't he?
Fair play to him. I reckon. I think he can do that, because there's no one in that division at the moment that springs out to me who will beat Okolie. I'm not going to lie. I think he will beat all of the best in that division, including Bradis. But what was it? They were saying, was it how many years ago was it? Was it 10 years? He was the manager of McDonald's or something like that. 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
And he's come all the way up.
Great story.
To win. As Eddie Hearn said in the post-fight interview, he said, "It's a story that I make up. It's an amazing story from where he's come from. You look at the picture when he was the McDonald's manager, and you look at him and you go, oh, he could be world champion, just proving everyone wrong. But also, it was a very entertaining undercard as well. Bradley Rhea and Anthony Fowler both picked up KO wins. What do you think of their performances, Fred?
Yeah, I thought Bradley Rhea looked good. Emphatic to start the card off. He can push on from now and get up to kind of better domestic fights, hopefully, for him. Anthony Fowler, was it the other one you said?
Anthony Fowler, yeah.
Another good KO, against he wasn't the best opponent for Tier, but he was no run-of-the-mill kind of journeyman.
Yeah, it wasn't no pushover.
So he did well in that fight, and I thought both of them did their job. So last few weeks, especially with Matchroom, been quite a few upsets, haven't there? So I think he did well to kind of nullify that on the whole card. I can't think of one upset, really. So it's good night for Matchroom.
Sure was. As well as that, Billam Smith and Joe Cordina picked up decision wins against their respectable opponents. I watched Cordina's fight, and it wasn't. I just watching it and thinking, I can't wait to
terrible fight, wasn't it?
It was a very boring fight, wasn't it? I won't lie to you, I didn't see. Did you see the Billam Smith fight?
I saw part of it. I thought he looked quite good.
Yeah, no, I was currently out at the time, so I didn't see that. But when I got back, I think it was halfway through the Joe Cordina fight.
Yeah, they're both throwing heavy hands. Vasil Dukov threw what he could really at Billam Smith, and he took it quite well.
I heard it was a bit of a it wasn't no walkover. The bloke was quite tough.
No, it was, and I think he did well to kind of nullify his threat while also throwing some of his own stuff, Billam Smith. So yeah, impressive.
Yep. So, obviously, Okolie picks up world title. Good weekend for England, but moving on. This weekend, the big one in Gibraltar. The what was it? The Rumble on the Rocks, is it called?
Yeah.
Whyte versus Povetkin for the vacant. Well, not anymore vacant, but the WBC interim heavyweight title, which is actually Povetkin's now. I'll be honest with you, mate. If Whyte doesn't win this, I can't. I can't see him having any more success within the world title ranks. Really, you know, I've said it countless times. If he doesn't win this fight, I think it's kind of a career changer. And I hope he pulls through. I hope he beats Povetkin, and I think he will. But there's a lot of pressure on Povetkin, Whyte. So we're going into this fight, don't you think?
Yeah, he's coming into this fight. It was a big knockout loss as well, wasn't it? It wasn't some sort of domination. I thought he was dominating the fight up until that point. And then Povetkin just caught him with that beautiful uppercut. Ended the fight, and now he finds himself in this position as well. I wouldn't say, is he the underdog, or he's not?
I don't know.
He's not much of a favourite as the original fight, I believe.
No.
But yeah, so he needs to go in here, get the win. Otherwise, all the kind of past 5 years since Joshua fight that he's been building up, trying to get that title shot, it will have all been for nothing, really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I saw an interview. I think it was this morning or last night with his old trainer Mark Tibbs, and he said I think it was with Sky, and he said if I was training him, I would have never allowed Povetkin. I would have never allowed Whyte to give Povetkin that angle for that uppercut. He went, that is the shot that he throws the most. Credit to him. He landed that shot. I think that is one of the best knockouts of last year, without a doubt. It was just an amazing the way he executed that punch. But
shocking as well, yeah.
Oh, it was quite. What made me laugh was Dillian Whyte kind of said, "Nah, he didn't spark me out." But looking back at him, mate, he weren't getting out, was he?
He won't have remembered it.
No, yeah, but no. Just looking on with Mark Tibbs, and he was saying he thinks Dillian will win this fight, but that wouldn't have happened if they weren't training him. I think he's right. I think Mark Tibbs would have straightened him out a bit, and
well, yeah, so he's gone in a different direction. I'm not sure what the name of his trainer is now or who he is, but
neither do I.
The training camps in Portugal have been the big difference, really.
I think. Go on.
And it is. I think we'll find out. Say the first fight, he looked all right, I thought, but he didn't look like anything massively different. I think this fight we'll see. Has it been worth it? Doing the training camps over there, because a lot of fighters do it in Spain. You get the MTK, a lot do it in Marbella, is it? They do all that stuff over there. Got Billy Joe Saunders doing it over there now, I believe. But Portugal's, not too typical for training camps. I wouldn't say so anyway. Not for British fighters anyway.
No, I get what you're saying to me. That is why they split up. Pretty sure White and Tibbs, because Tibbs didn't want to train out in Portugal. He said, "You train with my lot at the Tibbs boxing stable, or you find someone else." And rightly so. Tibbs doesn't want to be up in sticks to Portugal.
It shows how much kind of power Dillian has as such. Say like he's saying, either you come to Portugal with me or I'm getting rid of you. So obviously it kind of been that strong relationship to begin on at that point anyway, because you wouldn't give that kind of automation if your trainers the guy that you're devoting your career for, you see him as the reason you're at this level, you wouldn't go to him, well, I want to go to Portugal. If you don't come with me, I'll find someone else. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a rocky start with that, but is it him getting a bit too big-headed, do you reckon? Saying, I want to go to Portugal. Either you come with me or I get rid of you. I don't need you as such. That's what he seems like he's saying. Would you say it's getting to his head a bit and maybe that side needs to calm down in him?
See, I know what you're saying, but Dillian Whyte doesn't come across to me as a guy who would get a bit, maybe in some circumstances, maybe a bit big-headed, but I don't know. I completely get what you're saying. It may well have got to his head, all this, fame and him being the WBC, what is it? Interim, is it?
Interim, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. A world champion. I don't know. I mean, you can argue yourself really about it, what kind of person he is. You just don't know what goes in on the on inside camps really as well, do you really? You might just thought the way there might be a disagreement with him and Tibbs, i.e., I don't know, the way he wanted to fight, etc. But from what I've heard, White was an amazing. He was fighters. I watched an interview the other day with Charlie Duffield, and he said that White is like his big brother. When they were fighting for the White Ribas, when they were both training down in Loughborough for that, and he was saying like he's always positive inside, and he's someone you look up to. So I don't know. It's just you just don't know.
A lot of questions will be answered. Yeah, a lot of questions should be answered this Saturday. But
if he loses that, I would.
Yeah, where do you see him going? Say, let's put 2 points to you. If he loses Povetkin, he knocks him out again. What happens then, in your opinion?
You know what he's going to be like? I think he's going to be like a Chisora. He's just going to be fighting world title challengers. I'd say, like, your likes of no one like a Joshua or I don't know. I can just see him being a Chisora and just fighting until
he's still at that age, isn't he? He's still at the age where he can. I don't think he's more than 31.
He's still relatively in his prime.
Especially when you look at Chisora, what he's doing at 36, 37. He's 32 years old, so very much still there.
But no, I mean, you've got to think about. You should ask the question. You've got to think about where he goes from here if he does lose. But that's a big if. You don't know what's been going on in camp, etc.
Have you seen the venue for the fight this Saturday?
No, I know there's a £2 coin though made for it.
Yeah, the biggest fight of the century for Gibraltar.
Yeah.
But I believe it's on a yacht.
It's on a yacht?
I believe so. I think it's in like a hotel, but in a yacht.
Right, okay.
I think that's the kind of present. And also, I've heard other rumours that there will be no testing for it because it's in Gibraltar, which I'm not too sure about, because how can they kind of get away with that? Especially with 2 previous drug cheats in Whyte and Povetkin.
They're not. Oh, they're not testing for drugs.
I've seen a few rumours about it. Yeah, that because it's in Gibraltar and it's not under.
I thought you were saying about the COVID testing. I was going to say, well, maybe they get tested on the plane, but
no, drugs testing.
So we might see an absolute roid up then.
We might
see an absolute Dillian Whyte comes in absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
So does Povetkin. Christ, imagine that.
That'll be well. We spoke about it before, haven't we? The roid Olympics, having them all competitors just high on drugs or like.
That was what Gerald Miller tried to do, didn't he? He tried to take everything he possibly could to literally kill Asia. That's just. You see some superhuman shit if that happened, mate. Yeah. Honestly.
But undercard's good. Very good.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Ted Cheeseman versus James Metcalf for the British Super Welterweight title. James Metcalf I don't really know too much about him, but he's unbeaten. And from the fights he's had, they're not walkovers. Some of them are decent fighters. So I think Ted Cheeseman is in for a fight there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I think Metcalf's the favourite for that.
Is it?
I think he'll go into that believing that he can win because Ted Cheeseman's good level. There's no denying that, but he has shown he has a few weaknesses in his armour as such. So I do believe that Metcalf might go in there and win it, to be honest.
Cheeseman strikes me as always watching him fight. He's one of these fighters that takes a lot of punishment. And even though that he's young, he's still ready. I think he's in his mid-20s still. So...
No, yeah, he's still got time.
But, mate, if he keeps taking that damage... His career's going to be shortened. He can't fight on every fight with just it's like he blocks he punches with his head. It's like, but don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. He's skilled, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does beat James Metcalf because he is a brilliant fighter. So I think Cheeseman's going to win. I think Cheeseman will win with just pure determination. I think. Yeah. He'll grit down his gum. She'll maybe not have the first few rounds, maybe not go his way. But he won't. One thing you can never take away from Cheeseman, he doesn't give up. Doesn't give up.
No,
so that will be an interesting one. You also got Chris Kongo versus Michael McKinson for the WBO Global Welterweight title. Another tough one. Both fighters unbeaten. What's your thoughts, Fred?
It's a difficult one. Another great welterweight clash. It's two unbeaten fighters, two fighters that kind of got big futures. I think either way after this fight, Michael McKinson's a bit more experienced in the game, but it's going to be tough. I think Kongo has a bit of added potential, I feel like, especially with being with Matchroom. He's been seen as the future as such, especially at welterweight. So when you have that kind of hype around you, people do start believing he's got to win, hasn't he, because he's the Matchroom boxer. I think Michael will give him a good show on Saturday. If I had to pick, I'd have to probably go with Kongo, but wouldn't not surprise me one bit if Michael McKinson went in there, showed his class, and beat him in there. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've got to back the new boy at the end of the day. Chris Kongo, you've got to back him. But boxing ability, I think Kongo will win it. It's not going to be an easy fight for him. No way. I think it will be a very hard fight for him because, as you said, Michael McKinson, he's 19-0 and he's got a few more wins to his record than Kongo and that experience. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's another great fight. Now, onto the heavyweight division. Another heavyweight clash on this card. Fabio Wardley takes a step up against Eric Molina, who is 27-6. Fabio Wardley 10-0. I think Wardley will win that, but it is it's a bit of a step up from fighting these punch bags because Eric Molina is an experienced fighter in the game.
Well, Wardley fought. Who was his name? Wasn't it one of the big journeymen? Was it Larty? Was it Larty or was it one of the other ones? Richard Larty. Yeah, he fought Richard Larty. So that was kind of a bit of a step up.
Oh, fair enough. I thought. Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So
yeah, okay.
that was his
Richard
first.
Larty, that was his first. Yeah, I'd say it was his first step up. I was thinking of Nathan Goldman. I completely forgot that he fought Fabio Wardley.
I think that was the last. That was in fight camp, was it? I believe. Under the last Povetkin card, was it not? Oh no, it was under Conor Ben
Formella.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's already took that kind of bit of a step up, and now this is another level. I believe. Yeah, Molina's been at the top, lost to most of them at the top. In fairness, say it's no easy fight, that's for sure. And Molina's gonna test him to the very max, but he just lost to Hrgovic in Saudi Arabia. So if he comes over here, another upcoming prospect in Fabio Wardley. In fairness, I didn't believe he was going to get to this level so quickly. I thought it was going to take
Wardley.
Yeah, I thought it would take him a bit longer.
He's doing well.
But I suppose Molina, is he really a massive step up from Larty? Probably
I think he's a bit washed out, but you've got to take into account that is he fought Joshua Molina?
Yeah, wasn't he a late step in, or was he mandatory? I remember it was just after
I don't think it was mandatory. I think he was a couple before they were having a title fights.
Okay,
I think it was before Joshua fought Martin or something. I remember. I've got a funny feeling Molina's fought Wilder as well. So
yeah, it was on the. You had Dillian Whyte, Jorah, number 1 on the undercard of it. So that kind of helped out. But I'm sure it wasn't. It was an easy night for Joshua. That's what I do remember.
Yeah, without a doubt. Joshua's different class, really, isn't he? But we also got Yusuf Kamari, 11-0, with 1 draw against Kane Baker, super featherweight contest. Been an interesting one. Don't really know too much about Kamari, so he's unbeaten. We'll have to see what he's made of. Another heavyweight clash. We've got Eric. I'm going to absolutely butcher this bloke's name. Pfeiffer.
I reckon it's a silent P. Yeah.
Pfeiffer. Probably Eric Pfeiffer. 7-0 versus Nick Webb, 16-2. Nick Webb, last heard of him was when he lost to Dave Allen. When Dave Allen kicked off his career. That was the first one he went. That was the first fight I've heard of Dave Allen. I thought,
really?
I didn't think he was a. Like I wouldn't say I didn't think he was a good fighter, but he just made me laugh.
It's just a joke, as bad as that sounds, he is just a bit of a joke, Dave Allen.
He was, yeah. Don't get me wrong. He had talent, but he didn't take boxing that seriously, and he said it in his past, but he's still a cracking guy.
Yeah.
Also, Campbell Hatton makes his debut against Jesus Ruiz in a super featherweight contest. So first fight for Campbell Hatton. I've got a funny feeling that Ruiz is Mexican. I don't know. It's not on Box Record at the minute because it still says to be announced, but it's already been announced. It got announced yesterday, but I mean, Campbell Hatton, he's looking good. He's looking 19 years of age. He's looking good, and he laughed like his dad, didn't he?
Yeah, he speaks like him as well. Same lingo, same banter. It's pretty much a copy, really, isn't it?
Yeah, carbon copy of his dad. But it'll be interesting to see what he can produce in his pro debut.
Another big weekend for Frank Warren's lot, isn't it? Two fights or fight cards.
2 clashes. Yeah. One of them got called off, didn't it?
Yeah, it was Ennis, Brown, Sam Maxwell, I believe.
So
I think Ennis Brown would have won that personally, but looking at, I've got the card up here. Dennis McCann's fighting Friday night. Brad Foster's fighting Friday night. Zach Parko's a new signing for Frank, isn't he? He's super middleweight. 19
he fought on. He fought on. I can't remember what card it was, but he fought in a matchroom card before for a title, I think. And he looked quite good, to be fair. He didn't look bad at all.
He's kind of expected to be one of Frank Warren's next big stars as such on his thing. But so yeah, it's I think the problem with Frank Warren's fights, and we've said this before, it's not world championship quality, it's domestic. And none of these fights.
No fights of his. I don't really think. Oh yeah, this is. I can't wait for this fight. If it's on, I'll put it on. But we've said it before. Even at matchroom events, it's more about entertainment.
Yeah.
You have entertainment and etc. I'm not saying it's all about entertainment, etc. But I just feel the matchroom events are better than the Frank Warren events at the moment because let's face it, Eddie Hearn's got all the fighters.
Yeah, all the top quality.
Yeah,
Frank Warren's his roster is just domestic fighters, and they are great domestic fighters. Let's not get me wrong, but when you're trying to say you might have one good fighter for every 10, but when you're trying to fill up cards for the whole kind of year, say even from a business standpoint, Eddie will probably get told by Sky at the start of season or start of the year, we want 7 or 8 box office events. And he goes, you know what, I have probably enough fighters ready to fight this year that will do that for me. He has them fighters he can lean on that say, sell this out for me, and they will sell. When you look at Frank, I just can't think of, he's got Josh Taylor still, but he's with Top Rank now. And that's another thing. His fighters are with Top Rank. They're almost
nicking all his fighters.
He's nicking them, but also saying, yeah, come along, Frank, join me. It's almost like a retirement home over there. But it's just, it's a shame. It's a shame, but other than Tyson Fury, Josh Taylor, as I said, there's not many. There's not as many. I mean, would Josh Taylor sell out box office? I know he's fighting Ramirez soon, so that'll be. Is that a box office? I think they said they haven't decided yet. But would that even sell box office in the UK? Because I don't think it would. I think it would do some sales.
It will do some sales, but I personally wouldn't buy it. I mean, going back to prize assets of Frank Warren, I believe his main prize asset is Dennis McCann. Dennis McCann will go to the top without a doubt. He's brilliant. Frank Warren's got many young fighters who he's trying to bring up, and I hope they do well and they succeed in their dream of becoming world champions. But
Eddie's just going to snatch them when they get to that level. That's what's going to happen. We saw it with the only one we see. Well, yeah, just running. But the only one I can remember Frank Warren snatching from Eddie was Charlie Edwards.
Charlie Edwards didn't. I don't think Charlie Edwards liked what Hearn was doing with his career. There wasn't. Other than he fought for the WBC, because we've seen him win the WBC title, didn't we, against is it Christopher Rosales? He won that, didn't he?
Slinging him with who did he sling him in with? Was it Estrada?
No, it wasn't Estrada. It was Martinez. Ray Martinez, not Ray Martinez. No. Oh, bless me. No. What's his name? The Mexican, the one who.
Yeah,
the one who.
Julio Cesar Martinez.
Julio Cesar Martinez. Yeah. Yeah, he was lucky to not lose that fight, Edwards, because he was Martinez. I love watching him. He's a brilliant fighter. So,
but he won the fight, Martinez, but it was adjudged illegal.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, if he wouldn't have had that legal punch, he would have been game, set, and match for Charlie Edwards, without a doubt. But yeah, I mean, it's another card this weekend. will I watch it? Probably not.
Would you watch it instead of a Friday night maybe, but the Saturday night
Friday night
one?
probably, yeah. But I won't watch
But,
it to the Povetkin Whyte. I'll watch that card.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but even the undercard, like Chris Congo versus Michael McKinson would be a Frank Warren main event.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, most of Eddie's undercards would probably be Frank Warren main
Even
event.
Fabio Waldy versus Eric Molina.
Yeah. He'd put that on box office.
I'm not trying to slag off Frank Warren, but don't get me wrong. How I see him, he was the one with Don King who put on the fights like Ben versus McLennan, and he managed people like Frank Bruno, etc. And back in the 80s, 90s, he was one of the world's best promoters, like Eddie Hearn. But Eddie Hearn's taken over the game and done different stuff with it and expanded out to America. I don't really think Frank Warren is known too much in America. I know, to me, Frank Warren out in America is top rank because all these fighters out in America who are fighting for him, they're for Frank Warren, are fighting for top rank. So, it's, as I said, don't get me wrong, Frank Warren puts on great shows, but they don't jump out to me. I don't think, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, the last Frank Warren event that we watched wasn't even a Frank Warren event, but it was on BT. It was the Fury Wilder fight, wasn't it? When we watched that. So yeah, it's. I don't get me wrong. I'd love to see him put on events that, but other than Dubois, does he promote Joyce? Or is it? I know it's Sam Jones who does a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I think he does, but Sam Jones is his manager, so it's a bit of a weird complex, I believe. But I think Dubois is. So I think he will broadcast some fighters and manage some fighters as well. But like Joyce has the manager and Sam Jones will do the fights, whereas I guess Sam Jones will go to Hearn, Frank, and say, he wants to fight now, whatever. But say it's a difficult conversation unless he's looking at this period of time. Because let's be honest, with these fighters, you got to give them 2 to 3 years. Like Dubois, I think Dubois and Yard were some of the testers of this kind of new domestic young level. And Yard made it to world level. Didn't win, but he made it there. And Dubois, fought Joyce, didn't go well for him. So these two fighters, it hasn't really worked out for. But they're still young. I think that's the one thing that he'll think of. I've got long careers with these at least. He might not. Whereas when Hearn's promoting, Chisora fight again, as we saw recently announced with Parker, where his fighters, are we seeing Chisora in 2 years? Box office? More than likely, yes, because that's just how Chisora's been going.
Yeah.
But
Chisora Molina box office, 50 quid.
I'm bringing my fans to London.
Yeah. We'll start out to go. Like,
who is the main event?
Joshua Fury was 50 quid. Why can't my play with you be 50 quid? But no, it's a subject we're going on about all day, really. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn.
Do you want to talk about the Chisora Parker card that was announced? So I feel like that was a mega card, really. So the new card that was announced by Eddie midweek was Chisora Parker as the main event. Then on its own, I don't think it does pay box office, to be quite honest.
No. And
then you have Katie Taylor, Tasha Jones, which I believe is a good fight. Yeah, it's Tasha Jonas was unlucky. I thought in a previous bout against was it Savannah Marshall or was it?
No, it was Tony Harper, I think.
Tony Harper, that's it. Yeah, I thought Tasha Jones was unlucky not to get the split decision.
No, is it Tony or Terry Harper? It's Terry Harper.
Terry Harper. Turbo Terry. Oh, is that Turbo Terry Flanagan? The wrong one. So yeah, they're both two good fights. Start off at the top, and then you've got Chris Eubank Jr. making his return. to Matchroom. I remember the first time. I think it was on the Joshua on the card when Eubank Jr. was still upcoming. He fought Spike O'Sullivan, and that was when you look at it now, how their careers gone both. Spike's had a lot of success in America fighting. Eubank, had a decent amount of success. That was quite a good fight back then. Now Eubank's back fighting. I can't remember his name, but I don't think he's that good of a fighter. If that's fair to say.
I know what you mean.
He's not. It doesn't seem like Eubank's level.
Who is Eubank with now? Is he with
I know he's Sunderland. Yeah, so I believe that's another manager job. So like with what's his name?
Yeah. With
Joyce.
I know.
I don't think he's with Eddie Earn right now. He's just fired on the card.
I got you.
And then Bivol Craig Richards isn't the fourth fight that was announced. I think that's quite a good fight.
That's a cracking fight.
We're looking at it with Craig Richards not having much chance. Craig Richards is a Frank Warren fighter, ain't he? Is it?
I think Eddie signed him. I think
really?
Eddie signed him. Yeah.
So I know Bivol's a matchroom fighter.
Yeah, Bivol was a matchroom fighter, but because that was confused the other day because Felix Cash is still a matchroom fighter, isn't he?
Yeah, he's what's his name? One of the purse bids. Frank won the purse bids for the fight. Showcase it on BT.
Well, that's probably why. That's Eddie's probably one of the purse bids for Bivol versus Craig Richards.
So that's going on now. But I think they're four really solid fights that maybe not Eubank, but arguably they could all be at the top. Maybe not box office, and that's why he's put them all together for a box office event. But they're all great level kind of scraps for box office entertainment, I feel. And I think for the first time in a while, it's deserved of the £19.95 they charge.
I mean, I don't know if I'll pay for it, but
oh no,
I get what you're saying.
We know our ways, Harry.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just wouldn't watch. I don't know. No, I'm not doing illegal streaming, mate. Don't worry about that. No, I mean, to be fair, I probably would. Looking at the card now, I probably would pay for it. It's like, because I mean, when the card was announced, that is a good card, and I'd love to watch that. But 1995, I don't know. If I think it's quite cheap for 20 quid, But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a good fight. The whole card.
Would you let's go for this. Would you rather pay for White Povetkin 2 or that card? If you had to pay for one of them.
Any day. Look at the undercard, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Look at
I think that's the way people got to see it.
What makes a good box office show is not just the main event. The undercard's got to be good. Don't get me wrong. It's exception with Joshua Fury. Anyone's paying for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anytime Joshua fights is either one.
Anytime Joshua fights, that's Sky's ticket to they probably earn a shit ton more than they originally do with a White, and that's obviously expected. But going back to that, thinking about it now, when you put it that way, the undercard is brilliant. I think the undercard is brilliant. So I probably would pay the 20 quid.
But yeah, so it's I think it's something Eddie hasn't done too well with the past. I mean, his undercards are usually very good, but it's when when you have Joshua, I suppose he's going to sell anyway. Whereas this fight, would any of them fights sell box office on its own? I think Joshua would struggle to sell box office. So I think it needed that kind of booster, and it makes for a great undercard. 4 fights. When you think you'll be getting Bivol Richards at 8:00 in the evening rather than waiting like 9:30, and you're fighting these massive fights off then, and it does build up momentum, and it's more enjoyable, definitely.
It will be a cracking card, without a doubt. 100%. So, moving on, I've got my little question for you that I was asked. So obviously with the WBSS, currently we don't know what's going on with that. So we'll ask you, other than lightweight, because other than lightweight, you know, it's obvious that would be an exceptional series. What weight class would you like to see next?
Well, I think the WBSS Super Series has been. I think it's been a welcome addition to boxing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I would say we had. What was the first series really stood out to me? I'm trying to think. It was
the Groves won it, didn't it?
Grove
It
Smith,
was super middleweight.
Yeah, and I know it might be tempting fate a bit, but I think if we were to do that again, and obviously this is hoping really, because you can't always get the fighters to agree to it, but that would be my choice. I think super middle or middleweight, because you have the likes of I mean, we're talking theoretically here, but Canelo Alvarez, box office, whatever you do, and if you were to stick him in this kind of tournament format, get him to fight the best constantly, it might even make him, everyone's talking about it, the similarities with Chavez, aren't they, at the moment, about who is he the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. If he, did join up for this, I don't think he ever would, if we're really speaking realistically, because I don't think the money would be there for him, but if he did, I think that would cement his place and win it. But, you've got Callum Smith, who is just full, David Benavidez, Billy Joe Saunders, Daniel Jacobs, stick him back in. I mean, you could even look a bit further down. Edgar Berlanga, I know I'm a big fan of his because first round knockout streak. But
do you know what? I think isn't he in that new? Is he in the new boxing game? I said there was an interview with him. I'm pretty sure it's him.
I might have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry, Carol.
But these level fighters, if I don't know what your choice is at the moment, but I can't see you've gone for light heavy or cruiser. You might have gone for heavyweight. Welterweight for me looks.
You hit the nail on the head, to be fair.
Welterweight for me looks a bit boring.
Lightweight is obviously the go-to, but we don't want to make this boring. So
yeah, and then the other ones, I think bantamweight or superfly. I think they're kind of the options.
I think they've already done a bantamweight because that Inoue one, didn't he?
Yeah,
doesn't he? He fights a bantamweight, doesn't he? So
yeah.
He's a monster. But no, going to my heavyweights. I just love watching heavyweights. I couldn't care if you had Fabio Wardley, Eric Molina, Carlos Takam, but you'd have some great knockouts, some great fights. But could you imagine Joshua Fury, Whyte, Wilder,
Povetkin,
I don't know, Povetkin,
Usyk. You've got so many options there. Like, if I just go through the list, Tyson Fury, yes. Anthony Joshua has to be. Wilder, yes. Povetkin, yes. Usyk, I mean, arguably yes. Ruiz Jr. you could even add in. Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, Joe Joyce, Kubrat Pulev, Tony Yoka, when we get to these lot. But you even have up-and-coming ones like Philippe Hrgovic, Daniel Dubois, Gassiev, who's moved up to heavyweight. It's mental.
Mate, you can have they wouldn't bother doing the quarterfinals. They'd do a group stage.
Could you imagine?
Group
A, HF Media group stage boxing. Champions League of boxing.
Imagine that, yeah. Joshua, mate, listen, we won't pay you yet, but if you can fight with with Wilder in the first group.
If you come third in the group, we're sending you to the normal WBS. We're sending you to fucking Frank Warren.
Yeah. Whoever wins it comes over to the WBSS.
Whoever comes third gets demoted to Frank Warren's lot.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Mate, if he's watching this, I'll tell you what, he's going to go down for you.
He fucking hates us.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we're going to round that off there. Fred, thanks for coming on again.
No problem, enjoyed it.
We'll catch you all next weekend. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.